Hello pilots, I'm James with Motion RC, and today we're going to be talking about micro helicopters. Specifically, these 5 we have in front of me. They're from XK Innovations. We've got the K100, the K110, the K120, and then for you scale lovers, we have the K123 or the AS350 and the K124, the Eurocopter, the EC145. All of these available again on both motionrc.com and motionrc.eu. So now, in lieu of doing a separate video for each helicopter, being that all 5 helis have a lot of similarities between them, there are definitely some differences, I thought it would be best to just do them in a few parts. So we're going to make this a series, if you will. I don't know how many parts we're going to go, but for this video, we're going to do basically your spec overview of each helicopter. We're going to do a full unboxing of each helicopter and just show you how to get them set up right before you go out and fly. And I think part 2, what we're going to do is go through a comparison, because obviously all 5 helis, again, very similar, but still have definite differences, and you can see that in prices. Like this one hovers around $90, the 100, versus why this one is around $150, so on and so forth. So we'll really break into each one in the second video and just show you what you're getting for your money, because sometimes pictures just don't do it. And then I think the third part will obviously be taking them out and putting them through their paces. Now, I am not a 3D heli pilot, but I have now taken all 5 of these outside and used the 6G mode, which XK says their 6G is what they're calling basically their stable mode, and I was able to have a lot of fun with those. So one of the parts too will definitely break into the transmitter that comes with your ready to fly case, because that's what these 5 helis are. I have the ready to fly versions, but we also have the Futaba ready versions, being that they use a Futaba protocol. If you already own a Futaba transmitter, you could save yourself about 20 or 30% and just get the copter, and that'll come with all the spare parts and the batteries that you're going to see going forward. So let's get started. We're going to do an unboxing again for each heli individually, one by one. And if you look in the description of this video, I laid it out with time codes. There's a table of contents there. So if you're just interested in the K100, you could go right to that portion, or the K120, however you wish. I thought it'd just be easier to do that again, so then you could see what each one has and what each one can offer you. So let's get started. Alright guys, so we'll start with the K100. Numerically, this is the lowest one, also the least expensive, ready to fly about $90 on motionrc.com. As far as the spec goes, it's about 238 millimeters long, or a little over 9 inches. The main motor is an 8520 brushed motor. Now for this one, this is the only one in the 5 that uses a brushed main motor. Actually, the other 4 helis, they use the same motor that this main motor is for their tails. This one has a smaller tail motor. It's an 8502 brush motor, and then has 3 micro servos. It's hard to get dimensions on these things. They just call them XK servos. We have all the spares available on both motionrc.com and motionrc.eu, and it comes with one 250 milliamp 1S pack. So now when you get your box, you're going to see here they call the K100 is nicknamed the Falcon, and this will be the same box as the K110 as well, so you got to check the top. It'll show you which one you got to make sure you have the right one, but upon opening it, you'll see your 2 instruction manuals. You have one for the copter itself and one for the transmitter. Then they're packaged really nicely, 3 separate boxes within the box. So you have your transmitter box, you got your parts kit, you're going to have everything you need in case you have an accident, and you've got the heli itself. So now breaking into the box, as you take it out, you'll see it's packaged really nicely once you get it open. The helis on the 3D helis, the propellers on the 3D helis are already installed. So they come in this nice little package. Again, the cardboard there, you're going to have to take the tape off to remove the cardboard from the landing skid. And then it has a nice little foam thing that can protect your, protect your props and your tail boom there. So it's packaged really well, and again, something I like to save just in case I'm ever going to transport it. I could put it right back in this box and not really have to worry about it, because it got to me just fine, so I trust it'll get anywhere else it needs to go if you just save this little piece. So now taking a look just up close, this was my first impressions when I saw the helicopter. Again, it looks really nice. If it wasn't for my hands in the way of this image, you could almost think it was like a real 450 or larger heli. It looks really good. I have no complaints with how it was packaged. And now the canopy removes with just 2 prongs on this one. You'll see the other ones, the canopies are a little bigger, but no problems taking it off. And when you get inside of it, taking a look up close, you see the battery's gonna go right on the bottom of the copter, and then your power board is all plugged in for you. So your ESC, your motor, everything's already plugged in. You're not gonna have to touch it at all if you don't want to, and I wouldn't, because it's all looking very good. And then taking a look at the back tail, you really have no problem with the way that's installed, and that tail propeller as well is already pre-installed. So this helicopter is basically ready to go. So now going into your parts kit, that comes in its own separate box, and everything is packaged up in plastic. Taking out, you're going to get your charger. So this is a dual port charger, so if you get yourself an extra battery, you'll be able to charge 2 at once, and that'll just connect to your laptop. You got your battery here, again, 250 milliamp 1S. You're going to get an extra spare pair of main propellers. You get an extra tail propeller and an extra gear. And then you get your Allen wrench and a mini screwdriver. So now installing your battery, again, it goes on the bottom. So it's just going to slip right in. I actually thought it was a little easier to get the battery in if I just went the back route. So pushing it in from that way, because there is a little lip on the front of the battery compartment, and trying to push it in from the front was just a little tougher. I guess it would work in, no real big deal. You're going to have the canopy removed anyway every time you want to plug in the battery. So then just remember your polarity before, when you plug it in, before you put your canopy back on. And it'll only go in one way. There's only one way to fit, so it shouldn't really be an issue. But once your battery's in there, you can put the canopy on, and you'll see no problem. So moving on to the transmitter, again, we'll get more in depth into the function of the transmitter, but here I just want to show you how it's packaged, because it is packaged really well. When you take it out of the box, you're going to see it's already wrapped in plastic, and then they give you these nice foam protectors over the antenna and your gimbals, so you definitely know that your gimbals haven't been tampered with. They haven't been, moving around in the box or whatnot. Even though it is an inexpensive transmitter, if you are buying a ready-to-fly version, you're not going to want to have it broken when you get it out of the box. So it comes really packaged really well. Again, see here, remove the covers, and you're going to have all your switches. And as I said before, we will get into your transmitter setup and the functionality of it in a later video. But for this one, just show you the one thing you will need to purchase are 6 AA batteries. If that's my one complaint about this set, is that you have to buy 6 AA batteries just to get the thing set up. But that's just pretty standard when you're buying a ready-to-fly transmitter anyway. But again, you got your switches. One's going to be for your gyro on and off. And then on the top, you do have stable mode and 3G. On the left, 3D on the left. And then the right is the throttle cut, which is always helpful when you're flying a heli. So that'll do it, guys. That's what you get out of the box with the Falcon K100. You get your propellers, you get a gear, you get an extra tail propeller, you get the tools you need. The Allen wrench is going to be to tighten your propellers, and the screwdriver is going to be to take apart anything if you need access in case you have a crash. So moving on, we have the K110. So this one's a little more expensive than the K100, and let's show you the spec. This one's going to introduce the brushless motor. So it's running on an 1106. It's 11,000 kV brushless motor, and the same motor that was in the tail, that was in the main motor of the K100 is now in the tail of this motor. And every tail motor on every other, on all 5 XK helicopters are going to be brushed motors. So it's brushless for 4 out of 5 on the main motor and brushed on all 5. Again, it's going to use the same 3 micro servos. They're available on motionrc.com. And then this one comes in about an inch longer than the K100. So if that's something that matters to you, you also get a longer battery. Physically, it is longer, and it is 450 milliamps, so it also has a little bit more juice. But it also is still a 1S setup. So upon the unboxing, it's going to look very similar. Now, as I said before, the K100 and the K110 use the same box, as you can see here. So one side shows one copter, one shows the other. Just check to make sure you got the right one that you purchased, because it'll be crossed off on the top. Like this K110 is nicknamed the Blast. So that's what you're going to see upon opening it. And again, you're going to see it's packaged exactly the same way as the last one. You've got your instruction manual for the transmitter and for the copter itself. Then within your 3 boxes, let's get right to the heli itself. It's going to be packaged, again, similar to the K100, where everything is already installed. So the tail propeller's on, both main propellers already installed, and all you're going to have to do is peel the tape off the cardboard to remove the landing, which is locked in for the landing skid. So just pull that off, and then the little foam protector for your props and tail boom, you take that off as well. And as I said with the K100, you want to save that. I like to save that in case I want to transport it. Why not? Real heli pilots use it for their big stuff. Why not use it for the small one too? As far as your parts box, you're going to get the same amount of spares. So you got your charger in here for your parts, dual port charger. You got your battery. Again, you can see it's a little longer than the one on the K100, 450 milliamp 1S. You have your spare propellers, so you're going to get 4 total propellers in the box. You got a spare gear and a spare tail propeller. Then you're going to have your Allen key and your screwdriver. So taking a look at the K110, it looks, again, very similar. Same carbon being used, same carbon boom. You'll see why in a little bit when we get to the K120, where that really gets boosted up. But this canopy is a little larger, so now this will connect with 4 prongs versus 2 prongs. And then your transmitter. You're going to get a transmitter as well, and it's going to be packaged the same way as before, and we'll run through the transmitter in the next series of videos. So taking a closer look with the canopy off, there is your battery tray. So that'll install underneath. Everything else is already installed, and you can see the brushless motor there. That is not the same. And then it's a larger tail boom. So now again, the same motor that was in the main motor of the K100 is being used for the tail here in this one, and every copter hereafter is going to use that same 8520 brushed motor. So now, again, installing the battery. The way they use the ESC lead, the way the lead comes out of the ESC on this copter looks like it just works better if you put this one in backwards to plug it in, but it's up to you. As long as it fits in the canopy, it's not going to be a problem. And that's basically going to do it for the K110, guys. Here's everything you get out of the box. Again, this is the ready-to-fly version, so you got the transmitter, you got your tools that you need, you got your instruction manuals, you have your battery, your charger, and you're good to go. So let's move on to the big guy, the K120. This one has no nickname, but this one is the highest price of the 3D looking helis, and let's get into the spec here. So you're getting the same motor as the K110. It's 1106 brushless motor running at 11,000 kV, and the same tail motor, the 8520, again brushed. Now the servos themselves, they're just called micro servos, but they are different than the servos on both the K100 and the K110. So they are larger servos. They look a little beefier. So they're going to be this heli looks like something for a more seasoned 3D pilot when I first saw it. This is the one that I think will survive a crash better. It's going to have more power. It's a little longer than the other two. So now it's almost 11 inches long, and it's got a 300 milliamp 2S pack running on 25C. So this is the only heli that has a 2S power. So you're definitely going to get more power out of that. So if you're somebody that wants to have a lot of fun, if you're already ready to fly 3D, or if you think you're just going to get to that point, you're so into it, you might want to spring for the K120 over the other two. But again, that choice is yours. So upon unboxing your K120, you're going to see the exact same thing. It's going to be they're going to have your 2 instruction manuals right on top of the box. And then the 3 separate boxes, all included. And again, if you're getting a Futaba ready version, you're just going to get the little box that has a copter in it, and all your parts are going to be in this box right here. So if you get a Futaba ready version, this is all you're going to get. They're just going to stuff the parts all around it. So taking it out, again, you're going to have that cardboard piece connected to the landing skid, and you're going to have your propeller protector and tail boom protector, which is, again, nice to keep if you want to transport. So taking a look up close at the copter, the tail motor is the same, but actually the propeller on the tail is a little larger than the tail propeller on both the K100 and the K110. And you can see the tail boom itself. It is a full carbon tube, so it's a lot beefier. It looks like it can survive a crash a lot better. The other one is a square carbon pole. This is a round one. And then the canopy looks about the same size as the 110. Again, it's going to come off with 4 prongs. And when you look inside this one, as we show you up close here, again, you're not going to have any problem, but look at the motor. The motor itself just looks really nice brush motor. And then you'll see the larger servos. They're calling them XK 2.0s, but they are definitely a beefier servo and just nicer overall than what you're getting on the K100 and the K110. And then turning it around, you see the battery compartment, but we'll get to the battery in a second. So now this one, being that it's has a 2S powered battery, it has a different charger. All the other 4 come with the same charger. This one will be different. This one actually has a 10 volt DC power. So this one you can't plug into a computer by USB. This one you're going to need an actual outlet to charge, or you can charge from the balance port on just a standard charger that you have. Because this battery, as you'll see, is a lot different than the batteries that come with all the other Helis. So this is, again, 300 milliamp 25C 2S pack. And we'll plug it in a little bit. You get 2 spare propellers, you get a spare gear and a spare tail propeller, and you get your screwdriver and your Allen key. The screwdriver will help take apart the body. The Allen key will tighten the props. If you buy the Ready to Fly version, you'll get your transmitter, and we'll talk more about that in the next video. So now let's show you how to install the battery, because again, this battery is a little different. I mean, not that anyone wouldn't be able to figure it out, but this is the lead coming off the ESC is actually fixed to the copter, which in a way is actually better, because as you'll see in a little bit, I plugged it in, I took the canopy off, but you wouldn't even need to take the canopy off because you don't have a dangling lead to connect to. It just sort of fits right in nice and snug. So you're just going to put it in. You don't have to worry about polarity. It'll only fit one direction. So then once you get it in, it's just going to slide right in, no problem. And again, putting the canopy back on, you have 4 prongs. So when you fit it on there, and since there's no loose lead that you have to tuck in like the other 2, it should be a lot easier. And that's when I realized, oh, I didn't need to take the canopy off. I could just plug in the battery itself. So just these things are small. I've got bigger fingers, so it always took me a little while playing with the canopies to get them on, but it's no problem. And also, all the landing skids on these remove very easily on the 3D Helis. So that'll do it for the K120, guys. This is everything you get out of the box. Again, you can see the charger is going to be a little different. This is a beefier copter. It actually sits almost a half an inch to an inch taller than the K100 and the K110. So it's just a bigger version of the same thing running on the same system. But if you're somebody that just wants that extra juice, I think this is going to be the one that I'm going to have somebody, a 3D pilot, truly test, because I want to see the difference of this brushless, beefier copter versus the K100, where it's a brush motor. And there you have the charger. It's just a little bigger and different than the other 4 copters. So let's move to the scale stuff. Here we go, the AS350, the K123. I really dig this copter. I think this might be my favorite out of the box. But getting to the spec on the K123, this one is about 10.8 inches long, or 275 millimeters. It will be running on the same 1106 11,000 kV brushless motor with the same tail motor as 4 of the 5 other copters have, the 8520. It has 3 micro servos. Now those servos, again, it's hard to find the actual spec of the servos used in here. They're XK's own servos, but they are the same servos in every copter except for the K120. So the K120 is the only one that uses beefier, different servos than this one. But being that this is the scale heli, you're probably not buying this to do 3D. I don't see the big deal. They seem to work just fine. And then this copter actually came with not one, it came with 2 500 milliamp 1S packs. So this is the only copter in the set that actually came with 2 batteries. Don't ask me why, I don't know, but I was surprised when I opened it, and I watched some other videos of other unboxings and everybody seemed to get 2 batteries. So that's just the way it goes. With this one, you get a spare battery, which is always nice. So let's take it out of the box. And again, it's going to be packaged the same way. When you open up, you're going to see your 2 manuals, one for the transmitter if you have the Ready to Fly version, and one for the copter itself. So there you have it. And then you got your 3 boxes. So again, transmitter, copter, and your parts. So then taking a look at the copter, now this one is a scale copter. So what they did was, being that was a tri-blade heli, it wouldn't fit in the box with them installed. So they don't install the propellers on this one. You're going to have to do that yourself at the start. But it comes in this really nice plastic case to help protect the body, which is nice. So again, I'm the type of person that saves everything. I don't know about you, but I save all my boxes. I don't know, I like to have them just in case. So something this small though, again, if I want to go on vacation, I'll put this copter right back in that packaging and bring it with me. But taking a look at it, it's amazing the attention to detail they gave for something so small. This AS350 looks really nice. Upon viewing it, I was actually sort of admiring it compared to some other helis. You really can't go wrong with the scale detail that they included. I only wish they did more scale helis than just the AS350 and the EC145. Maybe an Apache or a Huey would look cool, but no problems with how the copter looks. Packaged really well. So breaking into your parts box. Now for this one, you will see you're going to get all your propellers in here. You're going to have 6 total propellers. Again, you can see on the table there, everything comes out in the box already in plastic. So upon removing it from the plastic, I was so shocked to see the 2 batteries because every other one had come with only 1. So it's nice to get a second flight in there, especially being that you're getting this dual charger port. Just makes sense. They're giving, all the other ones are giving you a dual charger port, but they don't ask you to buy a separate battery with the K123. That may be enough alone to make people jump on this one versus other ones, but that's up to you. So you're going to get 6 propellers, again 3 spares and 3 for the copter itself. You got a tail propeller, spare, you got your spare gear, which is machined really well, made of plastic, but looks like it can hold up for a while. And you have your screwdriver and Allen wrench. Again, screwdriver is going to help take the fuselage apart for this one, and here are the 3 screws they provide for you to install your propellers. Again, the Ready to Fly version will come with a transmitter, and we'll get more on that in a separate video. So let's get to the copter itself. Now when you're installing the propellers, because since the other ones already come pre-installed, you want to make sure it's all about tightening your propellers. Talking to a lot of heli pilots, I mean, that's where people can really mess up. If you over-tighten your heli propellers or you under-tighten your heli propellers, it's really going to change the performance of your copter. It can almost make it unflyable. So you want to get that Goldilocks spot where you're not too loose and you're not too tight. You want to be just right. So all you got to do is slip the screw right through the propeller into one of the heads, and then slowly keep turning. And what I like to do is I was holding the propeller out straight and get it to the point where it can hold itself up but not fall. So you see I was using my other finger just to keep it there until I got to the point where I started feeling it get tight, and then I wanted it to be able to move with my touch but not fall down by itself. So I came here, just give it an extra little tightening, and you'll see that eventually you get to that sweet spot where, there you go. You can move the prop with your finger, but it won't fall when you shake the copter upside down. So putting on the other 2 really quickly, let's speed up this process. And this last one, you'll see as we tighten that, again, it just doesn't drop on its own. You want it to be able to be firm, but also a little loose. So now the screwdriver, just want to show you, if you ever needed access to the fuselage, there are about 10 screws to take it apart. So that's what the screwdriver's for. You have 1, 2, 3 on that side, and then I believe on this side we had 1, 2, 3, and then you have 2 on the tail itself, 4, 5, and then 6. So overall about 9 places that you're going to have to unscrew if you want to take the canopy apart, but I'm not going to do that here. So then putting in your battery, the canopy itself, this one's a little different. It comes off and it's connected with magnets. So they have 4 magnets, 2 on each side, as you can see. All you really have to do is line them up. It could be a little tricky. There are a couple plastic tabs, but it definitely has some play. But you'll see in a second, it takes me a little while to get the canopy back on just right. But you're just going to slide your battery in. Again, plug it in. Make sure your polarity is correct, red to red, black to black. And then when you put the canopy back on, you just got to play with it a little bit. I tried to do it from the bottom up, and you'll see, like, if it doesn't look flush, just look around it and you'll see usually there's a problem. And as you can see at the top here, that's where I went wrong. You see the magnet went on the outside, so you just slip it back in. It definitely has some play, but then it really fits nice and snug with the battery in. So guys, that'll do it for the AS350. Everything you see here is what you're going to get in the box, from your tools to your extra gear, your extra tail propeller. You've got 6 propellers, and all the propellers are exactly the same for all 5 helis. You got your charger, 2 batteries, which is really nice, and you got your instructions for both your transmitter, which comes, and the copter itself. So let's move on to the last one, the Eurocopter, the K124, or the EC145, if you want to be scale about things. This is a really beautiful looking copter, and it has 4 propellers. So the other one had 3. This is the only one that has 4 blades up top. But now this one's actually shorter than most of the other helicopters. It comes in about the same length as the K100, a little less than 10 inches, but still running on an 1106 brushless motor, 11,000 kV. It's got the 8520 brush motor in the tail. 3 micro servos. They are the same servos for the K100, the K110, and the K123. And then this one comes with a bigger battery, or at least a longer battery, a 700 milliamp pack versus a 500 milliamp pack for the K123. But this is also just 1S. So this is, and you only get 1 pack with this copter. So you're getting 2 with the K123 for some reason, but you're only getting 1 with the K124. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Is what it is. So as you take it out of the box, you will see, again, going to be the same as the other 4 copters that we did. But if you're just watching this portion, when you open up your K124, you expect to see your 2 manuals right on top. You got the manual for the copter itself and the manual for the transmitter, if you bought the ready to fly version. If you bought the Futaba ready version, you're just going to get the box with the heli in it, and it's going to have all your parts. So upon taking the boxes out, here we go. We'll start with the heli. Again, because it's a scale heli and they want to protect the fuselage, I think, and also because the props aren't already attached, they wrap it in this nice little plastic case. Something that I like to save, because if I was ever going to transport it, might as well just take the props off and use that to put it back in. But taking it right out, I was really impressed again with the scale detail. I mean, they got rivets on this thing. It's so small. They put the exhaust. They've got nice coloring to it. I was impressed with the paint job. It comes with horizontal stabs that you can install. This one itself has an LED in the nose. So when you take the canopy off, you'll see it is connected. So you can either unconnect it if you want to, but I had no problem leaving the canopy just hang or dangle as I put the battery in. But you can see it does have that nose light, and everything else is already plugged in, so you're not going to have to do anything as far as plugging in the board. These things are ready to go right out of the box. You have your dual port charger, same with 4 of the 5, only the K120 has a different charger. But again, USB, so just stick it in your laptop or get an external charger. You got your 700 milliamp 1S pack, and again, you only get 1 with the K124. And then they're giving you 8 propellers. So you got 4 for the copter itself, and you have yourself 4 spares, which is always nice. You got your spare tail propeller and gear, and you've got your screwdriver and Allen wrench, and there's the horizontal stabilizers. So they look really cool. And then they're giving you 4 screws so that you can put your propellers on. So now, same as the K123, when you're installing your propellers, guys, it's all about lining up. Obviously, you line up the holes, drop the screw in. The XK side, because there's a blank side, and then the XK sticker side will always go up. But when you're tightening your heli propellers, you're looking for that Goldilocks spot. You don't want to be too tight, and you don't want to be too loose. So you'll see here, as I start tightening with my Allen wrench that's provided, I like to hold it like down, so you see the propellers hanging low, and then I'll lift it with my finger as I was just twisting, and I wanted to get to the point where once I remove my finger, the prop will stay firm, but not too tight. I want to be able to push it with my finger like this, but then if I shake the copter up and down a little bit, you'll see the prop doesn't move on its own. You know, I mean, yeah, you could shake it really hard, and of course it'll move, but you notice it'll still stay firm. So that's that Goldilocks spot that I was talking about. So putting on the other 3 propellers, doing the same, noting that again, you're looking for that perfect spot. You don't want to over tighten, definitely don't want to over tighten, and definitely don't want to under tighten either. So it looks really good. Again, I'm super impressed with the scale. So putting on the horizontal stabs, they just stick in. There's really no problem with that, but you will need a little foam tack. They don't include glue here. When I took this one out to fly it, my first flight, immediately those two horizontal stabs just blew off. So I used a little foam tack and I put them on there properly, and I haven't had a problem since. And again, just look at the overall detail. I mean, the tail looks nice. Nice decals on it. I mean, you can't go wrong. It looks like this would be a copter you could sit and just display. I mean, if you're really into helis, you can't go wrong. And then as far as putting the battery in, it's going to act very similarly to 4 of the 5 other helis. This one seems to install, though, over the ESC. This is the only one that does that. So it goes right sort of in the middle of the fuselage. And again, when you plug it in, just note your polarity. So red to red, black to black. And then you're just going to put the canopy back on. Now this one has a little bar, if you see, on the fuselage, and a little hook on the right. So you just want to have that. You just want to hook that hook around the bar. So you want the way to plug in the canopy, and then you got 2 magnets up top to deal with, and a few little tabs. So it just takes a little bit of manipulation depending on, you know, I like to tuck in the lead a little bit before I put it on, but once it's on, it goes on smooth, and that'll do it, guys. That's the EC145 or the K124 from XK. Beautiful looking scale heli. I mean, if you're into scale helis like Motion RC is, you can see with our Roban stuff, we love this stuff. I think this one might be my favorite next to the K123. I love the color of it, and again, you're getting 8 propellers, you get all your tools, you're getting your charger, the horizontal stabs, and if you buy the ready to fly version, you're going to be getting the transmitter as well. So guys, really can't beat the K124. Alright guys, so there you have it. That is an unboxing now for each individual heli that you've seen. I hope it shows you everything you should expect to see when you come out of the box. And I really do like the way they're packaged, at least the ready-to-fly versions, because I would save the box and save all the components in there. It's an easy way to transport all your stuff, because I see this type of heli, this size, as something you're not necessarily going to always bring to your flying field. You can, but you might bring this on vacation. You might want to travel with it. So having the box and keeping it is probably a good idea. And now for anyone who might have skipped around, I didn't do the propeller tightening in the unboxing for the 3D helis. I did show it in the portions for these 2 scale ones. So I just want to let you know, remember, you're looking for that, when you're tightening a heli propeller, you're looking for that Goldilocks spot. So you want it to the point where you can touch it and move it with your finger, but if you shake it up and down, that the propeller won't move. So that's really where you want it. So it's not too loose, not too tight. You want it just right, like the 3 little bears. So that'll do it for this portion. I hope you guys got all the spec you needed, and again, got an understanding of what you're going to get in the box. In the next video, we're going to do a full comparison. So we're going to compare the scale helis versus each other, the 3D helis, so you know just why each one's priced the way it is, what you're getting. We'll get more into you know, the function inside, show you the servo, show you the motor, things like that. Then we're also going to run through the transmitter. So the transmitter that comes with each ready-to-fly helicopter. The instruction manual isn't too detailed. You know, it'll basically get you where you need to go, but you do want to play with it. So I had a chance to play around, especially with the expo. I wanted to make sure I could add some more expo, especially flying a scale heli. I don't want to make any sharp movements, so I wanted it dead. I like to fly it dead in the middle, basically, when I'm flying these. So I got a chance to do that. So I'll show you that definitely in the next part. So I hope you stick around for that or find that video. And then a little down the road, we're going to do some flying of these. Ryan managed to get out at his field. He had a 3D Helipilot, and he had the AS350, and that guy was knocking it around 3D, so we'll show you that. And then I'm going to have a couple guys at my field find some people who can either fly 3D, and of course, I want to fly them as well, just to show you how really simple they are. So guys, that'll do it for this video. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the next one.